Bethenny Frankel called ex-husband Jason Hoppy white trash and once threw water on him while he was sleeping, she reveals during ongoing custody hearing for 8-year-old daughter. Bethenny Frankel called her ex-husband white trash and once threw water on him while he was sleeping. It was revealed during her custody battle on Monday. Hoppy and Frankel, who arrived with her boyfriend Paul Bernard, were back at Manhattan's Supreme Court over what has become an ugly battle over their 8-year-old daughter Bryn. And, after hours of grueling and emotional testimony in which she detailed Hoppy's alleged emotional abuse, it was time for Frankel to be cross-examined. Robert Wallach, Hoppy's attorney, asked Frankel about an incident in which she called her ex-husband white trash. "You called him white trash, correct?" Wallach asked Frankel. "I think I called his family that," she replied. Wallach then had Frankel read from a transcript of the couple's 2014 divorce hearing. Frankel had said during the hearing that she called Hoppy white trash after he told her he found an investor to fund his divorce battle. "You called him white trash?" Wallach asked again. "Yes," Frankel replied. Wallach had Frankel read from the same transcript as he questioned her about the time she threw water on her ex-husband while he was in bed. "There was a time where he was sleeping and you threw water at him, correct?" Wallach asked, according to Radar. "I don't know if he was sleeping, but I threw water on him," she said. Wallach then had Frankel look at a specific page of the 2014 testimony, in which she said, "I splashed water at him when he was sleeping, I cracked." "Okay, then yes," she told Wallach. Frankel had begun crying just minutes into her testimony earlier on Monday as she revealed how Hoppy would taunt her with FaceTime calls. Frankel's attorney Ronnie Schindel played a 2015 FaceTime call in which she said Hoppy refused to let her speak to Bryn, despite the fact that it was Mother's Day weekend and their daughter's birthday weekend. "The circumstances where I was trying to FaceTime Bryn, and as I have experienced every day, Jason was using it as a tool to harass me and assault me," Frankel told the court, according to Radar. In the FaceTime call, Frankel can be heard asking Hoppy if she can talk to Bryn for a sec. "No, keep recording me, keep recording me. You lost your privilege when you began recording me," Hoppy responds. Frankel said Hoppy would use the FaceTime calls to taunt and abuse her. "Just basic torture and taunting every day," she continued, revealing he would often appear shirtless or without clothes on the video calls, which made her feel uncomfortable. Frankel said Hoppy's behavior had a dramatic effect on her relationship with Bryn as she dealt with his endless and daily emotional abuse. It was only when Hoppy was arrested for harassing her in January 2017 that Frankel said she realized just how much his behavior was affecting her emotional state. While crying on the stand. "When that person is arrested, you're sleeping better, you're not stressed. You're physically more psychologically healthy. You're not a wreck all the time. It's like you can have a slightly normal life and you're more connected with Bryn because you're not in a panic about what will happen with the emails." The Real Housewives of New York stars fighting for sole custody and sole decision-making of their daughter. Hoppy wants the couple to continue sharing joint custody. Frankel told the court that she wanted more physical time with her daughter and said she was asking for ultimate decision-making so that she wouldn't have to email with Hoppy about every single thing related to Bryn's care. "Decision-making has been impossible and tedious and not a collaborative or rational or reasonable process," she said. And the minor decisions, go on with email and bog down in anger, and we can't get anything minor done. And now Bryn is getting to the age that as she gets older there is the physical and medical. We have to be rational and reasonable and have good judgment. Jason will make decisions about how he would hurt me. If I say black, he will say white. Emotions were similarly high during Frankel's hearing earlier this month as she sobbed on the witness stand and described how Hoppy turned her life into a torture chamber and tormented her for 6.5 years after she asked for a divorce. Frankel described in detail the thousands of abusive text messages, emails, and phone calls Hoppy has bombarded her with since they split in 2012. The reality star said that she was once so scared of Hoppy that she put a padlock on her bedroom door when he refused to leave their apartment after she asked for a divorce. I was helpless. I had no way out. I knew what he was doing was illegal. I knew I was being abused, the tearful Real Housewives of New York City star said at the start of her testimony. I pleaded, begged, emailed, to please stop harassing and abusing me. Frankel said that Hoppy warned her after she asked for a divorce that this is war. If you leave me you are dead to me, Frankel said Hoppy told her. I want nothing to do with you. I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to ruin your life. Frankel said she had told Hoppy that she wanted to co-parent harmoniously, and even one day be friends who could share holiday dinners or vacations together. But she claims he only reiterated that he wanted revenge. I'm going to destroy your life, Frankel said he told her. I'm going to have you and your publicist on the floor crying. Frankel said life soon became a torture chamber and outright mayhem at the Tribeca apartment that she had bought for them. She claimed that Hoppy would lie in their marital bed and just stare at her face until she had to call friends and beg them to help her get him out of the bed. Describing the state he left the home in, Frankel described rotting food in the refrigerator and dishes piled to the top of the sink. He would go to the bathroom in the toilets and wouldn't flush them. He would whistle and sing and slam doors, she continued. He did everything he completely and possibly could to torture me. Frankel also recalled how her ex-husband and his father would walk around the house in their underwear and that he would often invite friends to stay for days on end. I begged, pleaded, asked Jason to please leave. He refused, she said. Frankel said Hoppy would lock her dog Cookie into the storage room for hours and leave negative press clippings about her around the house where she could find them. When she tried to throw them away, Frankel said Hoppy would dig them out of the trash and put them back. Among the more disturbing anecdotes Frankel gave was one in which she described Hoppy drawing a picture of her beloved dog Cookie and leaving it in Bryn's lunchbox for her to find just a day after the pup died. It was signed that. Eventually, Frankel moved out. The abuse, she said, then became worse but different via a steady stream of emails and text messages. Frankel said she would shudder every time she saw an email from Hoppy, and that the vast majority of the messages were abusive. It was like a visceral reaction every time I looked at my phone and saw his name, she said. I'm trying to be a mom, run a business, keep myself together. It scared me, made me feel helpless, hopeless, and alone. In 2014, 2 years after she asked for a divorce, Frankel agreed to a custody agreement with Hoppy that allowed him to have 2 phone calls per day with Bryn. Hoppy, she said, used the mandated phone calls as a new opportunity to harass her and try to turn their daughter against her. Phone calls were Jason's new tool in his arsenal to abuse me. Frankel said the majority of phone calls and FaceTimes were Jason staring into the phone, sometimes in his underwear. He'd say you lost Dot. It was way worse than the emails and texts, Frankel continued. Having a child in the car with me, or him, while Jason is abusing me, is bad for Bryn. Hoppy's defense team tried to stop recordings of the phone calls from being played in the courtroom, but their request was denied by the judge. Although Bryn now has a phone of her own, Frankel said she has a hard time getting hold of her daughter when Bryn is with Hoppy. But Frankel said she will sometimes receive up to 10 emails over the span of a weekend from Hoppy's assistant demanding that she facilitate a call between him and Bryn when their daughter is staying with her. It's a new pocket. It's a new way for Jason to poke at me, send excessive emails at me, she said. It makes me feel like this is endless, helpless, sad, nervous, stressed. Frankel said Hoppy told her he would stop at nothing to ruin her life and was threatening and verbally assaulting as well, whether they were at one of Bryn's doctor appointments or even at the schoolyard. If I would be giving her a big hug, he'd say I was desperate and pathetic. He'd say I looked ugly and old. He'd laugh and whistle, she said. Frankel also described the incident in which Hoppy was arrested for harassment at her daughter's school in 2017. The reality star was attending Bryn's recital with her late ex-boyfriend Dennis Shields when Hoppy appeared unannounced. I see how you want to do this. You can get 10 lawyers and you can't stop me. You've been warned. There's nothing you can do to stop me, Frankel recalled him saying. Frankel said Hoppy then turned to Shields and called her pure evil. We had settled custody, finances. It was supposed to be time to co-parent, she said. He ramped it up and took it to another level. Frankel couldn't hold back tears as she said it reached a fever pitch. I was afraid for my safety. My daughter was steps away and he was threatening me in front of people at the school. I didn't know what he was capable of, she continued. Frankel went to the police and Hoppy was arrested. An order of protection was issued that had since expired, and Frankel said she now makes minimal face-to-face contact with her ex-husband. I'm not comfortable in Jason's presence, she said. It's very contentious. We're not in a good place, even in the courtroom. Hoppy and Frankel met while she was filming the second series of the show. They married in 2010 while she was pregnant with Bryn. In 2012, Frankel told Hoppy that their marriage was over.